Hey y'all, I am going on vacation and it's stressing me out because I have never gone away during peak butterfly season since I've started like taking care of the caterpillars. And so it's a lot to think about. I'm going to show you what I've set up for them all. And then when I get back, I'll check in and see how everything did. And then I'll post this video so you can see the results. So out in the butterfly haven, I've loaded everybody with plants. And I've removed every chrysalis I can find, and I've taken it inside. Oh my gosh. Well, apparently I didn't, because look, there's another one right there. I'll grab that one. I have loaded every chrysalid inside, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. Look at this giant wild lime that I stuck in here, and it is full of leaves. So my giant swallowtail caterpillars should be just fine. And it's a potted plant, so I don't have to worry, that it's gonna use up all its water like I would over a cutting. There are all the snuggest bugs in there. And then they can pupate in here. Fortunately, my vacation's not going to be that long. I'm just going to be gone 4 nights. So even if they do pupate, they're not going to pupate and eclose in that amount of time. Same with, I think I've got one left. He was out. Let me see if I can find him. One of my spice bush swallowtails, but there are plenty of leaves left on this little mini sassafras tree I have in here. So that little caterpillar will be just fine. And then over here, all the Gulf fritillaries and zebra longwings I had, they've all pupated. And most of them eclosed. So all the monarchs and my one queen, who we're looking at right now, are in here. There's tons of milkweed. Actually, look at this plant. Look at this plant. This was full. I'll probably swap this plant out. But there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 milkweeds in this back pot, and there's a giant milkweed. You can see the leaves of it back there. And then there's a little potted milkweed here, and there's not too many caterpillars in there. That they should be just fine. Oh, there goes my queen. She's gonna climb up. So these guys should be good to go. Now, there is a chrysalis in the back there of a Gulf fritillary. And y'all, I haven't figured out how to move those things because they eclose from the bottom. So I can't put them in a pocket protector because they couldn't go down, if that makes sense to you. And they don't have a cremaster or anything at the top to like tie dental floss on or use the little Velcro tabs like I use to hang them up. So they're a little bit of a conundrum. So that one's just staying right there. And I have a house sitter that we hire, and she'll come and just move into my house. So she takes care of the dogs and the cats, and she's gonna water my garden for me. She is like not the butterfly raiser expert, but she can check all the enclosures, and if there's a butterfly in there, I showed her how to get them out. So I think we're gonna be okay. I think. Let me show you what I did for the little babies inside. Okay, inside this enclosure is nothing but chrysalides. And that way, if someone encloses, she can just take the entire enclosure out and unzip it and let the butterfly fly out. And she doesn't have to worry about, trying to pick it up or anything. So I think that's going to work super easy. And then over here, these guys are all loaded up. My Eastern Tiger Swallowtails are still here. It's like, I feel like they're caterpillars forever. Like those two big green ones are still two big green ones. Now, I've got them all crammed in there and I'm not going to disturb them right now. But look at all the cuttings of wafer ash I have in there for them. And they don't eat super fast or a lot. So that should be great. And then I have two babies. You can see how tiny. See, there's one right there. I don't know if it's focusing or not, but you can see the little dark blob. That is a caterpillar. And that wild lime should be plenty for them. And then right here are my eggs that I brought in for the Polydomus, and those should be fine because they haven't even hatched yet. And I just brought them in yesterday. I mean, they were literally just laid yesterday, so it could be 3 or 4 days. They might just be hatching when I get back. And then this is all my fennel, and those eggs all hatched. So there's a bunch of teeny tiny, I don't know if you can even pick them up. See those little black dots right there? Those are baby caterpillars. And they're so cute. But this will be plenty for them for a couple of days. And I would love, what is that hair? I guess it wants to be there. I would love to know from you all, what do you do when you go on vacation? Those of you who are raising caterpillars and butterflies. I've stopped bringing anybody in. It's been a minute, except the eggs I brought in yesterday, because I was not going to let those Polydomus guys go. I've been stocking up on the food, and I don't know what else I could have done. So I'd love to know what you do. Does it stress you out too? But you got to take a vacation once in a while. And like, my kids are all over the place. My son's in Orlando. I have a daughter in Jacksonville, and I have another daughter attending the University of Aberystwyth in Wales in the UK. And it actually worked out that my daughter in Jacksonville and my son in Orlando were able to get time off at the same time. And both of my son's girlfriend and my daughter's boyfriend were able to get time off. So we're all going together on a vacation. I haven't had a big family vacation like this. It's been a while. So I'm so looking forward to it. And my daughter in Wales cannot come. She's working and moving into a new place for her last year. Next year's her last year at college, and she'll graduate. So, wow. Okay, so I'll be back. And next time you see me, we're going to be checking and seeing how things went while I was gone. Did I prepare enough in advance? Time will tell. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday morning. We're back from our vacation. I spent the entire day yesterday working on my plants that I grow and sell to the nectary. And then today is all for you guys. So first of all, I wanted to show you this little one before I release it, and then I will come back and talk to you about how things went with my caterpillars while I was away. This is a giant swallowtail, and I'm gonna go set it free. There's also a monarch in here, but it is not quite ready. It's still chilling, so we'll set that one free a little bit later. So one of the things I was most worried about was if there had been a chrysalide in my outdoor enclosure that I didn't find to move in, and the butterfly closed and was just trapped in there. I did have my house sitter checking, and just fortunately that didn't happen. So yay. 3 butterflies closed, and I had put all the chrysalides in one enclosure so she could carry the whole thing out and release them. That worked perfectly. I came back to some very hungry caterpillars though, and if I had been gone one more day, it wouldn't have been good. And I know the issue was the bronze fennel, the cuttings don't last that long, and they couldn't have gone another day. 2 of them, of the little floral tubes, they were all wilted and done. Fortunately, there was one left, and all the caterpillars were lined up on the stem of it. I was like, oh babies. So anyway, I got them a potted bronze fennel and switched them on it. They're all fine and happy. So I would say don't count on floral tubes and put potted plants in unless you really, really know the cutting's gonna last a while. The other thing I was worried about was my garden not dying out and drying out. We had good rain while I was gone, at least good enough to keep everything healthy and alive. So overall, it was fabulous. It was so good to get away, but I told everybody, you know, had it not been the miraculous event of my children, my adult children, all being available to join us at the very same week in time when all 6 of us work on different schedules and different jobs. I mean, that was one of those things where you know you're just supposed to go and do it, and it's supposed to happen. So it was great, but next vacation I prefer in the slower season, not peak butterfly gardening season. My house sitter did a fabulous job. She is so good. I love her. I love that I have somebody who I can trust to take care of my animals and, you know, water my garden every once in a while and let a few butterflies out. And now that I'm back, that's a Polydomus. The Polydomus eggs that I took in all hatched, and they're all doing well. I feel like the butterflies have significantly increased in population, but what I'm not finding is a lot of caterpillars. I found 4 spicebush swallowtail eggs and 2 giant swallowtail eggs, but I'm not finding any monarchs. Like, I know they're all going over to the tropical milkweed. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my potted tropical milkweeds and just set it out for a day, you know, let it get some eggs on it, and then put it back in, so I get to raise a few monarchs. I did have a few casualties though. This is a frogfruit. Frogfruit does well in hanging basket, but needs watered consistently. It is going to come back. You can see it's got some regrowth there. So like all the ones that were hanging down dead and dry, I've got to water this thing daily. So I probably should have taken it off the hanger in the sun and set it somewhere in the shade while I was gone. So that's one thing to think about. This is what frog fruit is supposed to look like. I have it in my wetland garden. It is the host plant for the white peacock and the common buckeye. I've had white peacocks, but I've not had common buckeyes. It serves as a great ground cover. If you have an area that you have lawn and you just want to get rid of the whole grass idea and want to be more native and nature relevant, plant some frog fruit. It'd probably do well in a partial sun shaded area or an area that you can keep watered. Oh, and another very cool thing that happened, the Isabellini zinnia that I planted, and I had so many of them, wondered what it was. It has bloomed and it's so pretty. Let me show you. You can see it standing out in the pot that it's in right there. There's also a monarch in the background. Look at that bright yellow, huge zinnia. It is gorgeous, and I do love it. So I'm glad I got it. Look at this flower. So one thing I've noticed is the zinnias tend to fall over and just grow all over the place. So I kind of took all the stalks and clumped them together and wrapped some of that self-stick Velcro around it to hold them up. And so, you know, from below, looks kind of wonky. But from above, they're all upright and they're not just like sprawling all over the place. There's a zebra longwing back there fluttering around. There's also a Gulf fritillary. Y'all, this maypop back here is just like Gulf fritillary haven. They're always all around it. Laying eggs. Look, it's growing into my bird bath.